All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today's Monday, August 30th, 2021. Market's up here about 0.6%. That's the SPY we're looking at. It's the Spider ETF that tracks the S&P 500. And really the thesis that I talked about on Friday is starting to be confirmed here a little bit. As we can see, market's starting to go vertical. And this is what we've been looking for. We've been waiting for this type of a move for a while. And I think we may get that this week into maybe even next week a little bit. But, not to sound like too much of a broken record here, but look at the light volume again. Just 32 million shares traded as we approach the 3:15 time frame here on the East Coast. And again, this is really the last week of summer, essentially. We have Labor Day coming up, and it's very common for institutions to take time off, especially the last week. A lot of traders take time off ahead of the holiday, and most of the big boys will be gone by probably midday Thursday. They'll take a little bit extra time, as really it's the last week of summer. And so we see the volume dry up, and this will be really, it should be the last week where we have to be cautious and not taking kind of taking the setups that we see with a grain of salt because of the light volume. And then it's really up until Columbus Day and then Thanksgiving that we should have heavier volume in the market, and we'll see that that volatility come back. But again, possibly looking for some type of vertical move. Again, this upper trend line here is sloping higher, and we could see a push up to that. That would make sense to me if we were to put in a blow off top. Again, looking at the VIX here. As we look, you guys know I've been talking about another leg lower. Looks like we're finally getting that today. It looked like the VIX did push a little bit positive here today, and it had a little bit of a bounce. Actually, the VXX, which tracks the short-term volatility, actually gapped lower, then kind of pushed the flat line and went green for a few minutes. I was not excited about that, but I'm glad that to see that it is pushing lower. I want to see the VIX get flushed out. I don't want to see a move where the VIX is rising with the market, because that's telling us that there's protection being bought. I want to see protection go away. I want the bulls to get super bullish. I want there to be euphoria in the market, and I want to see that kind of, the market can't collapse type. The market can't go down. The Fed's going to take care of everything. I want to see that attitude before I see a top. And when we get to the VIX level, we'll look to enter that. And again, tech doing a little bit better today. Again, with the lower yield, so yields pulling back a little bit. Again, I want to see another leg lower in yields before we get in, and I think we can get there sometime maybe in the middle of the month of September. So we'll just keep an eye on that. But Q is really the beneficiary of this, up 1.2% so far today. Triple Q's NASDAQ 100 getting out of this channel here. Now this channel goes back to really the highs of last year. So this is an interesting one here, and it's very unusual to see a topside breakout like this, although you did consolidate quite a bit. So that's the reason why I haven't pulled the trigger on a short, because you've consolidated too much. But we got to respect it. It's pushing through this upper end of this channel. Now I just think that the angle of this channel is really steep. So if we were to break out above it, it's just a really steep angle. It's already a little overbought. So I don't really expect that to last. I think that we do probably get a correction in September, especially just considering the run it's had really since May. We put in these lows here, and we kind of just grinded up the whole time. So without really any we had this consolidation here, but not a real pullback to speak of on the NASDAQ 100. So, but again, it's holding up, and we're just going to leave it at that. But again, very light volume. Market's moving up on light volume here as we get into the final days of summer here. Russell 2000 really kind of lagging a little bit today, but it did have a nice move on Friday, and having a little bit of a pause here. So not really unexpected to see an index pause there as we wait for Thinkorswim to pull this up. But okay, yeah, so Russell 2000 here, kind of stalling out at this 226, 227 area. Again, that's kind of where I was expecting it to run into some resistance. You had these, you had this sell-off here, and then these little pivots. But again, it's holding up right now, so we'll just give it the benefit of the doubt. And the Dow kind of flattish again today. Yeah, but we generally don't put too much behind the Dow Jones Industrials, as it is a price cap weighted index. Moving on here, I just want to talk about the metals really quick. Again, so gold really just kind of pausing here after the big thrust on Friday, after the Jackson Hole summit. So gold maybe putting in some consolidation to possibly push higher. The one I really like here is silver. We talked in the weekend video about the three higher lows. I've been pointing that out for a while, and now I think that silver is getting ready to make a push higher. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing some similarities from some past cycles that I've seen in silver, and I think there's some potential for some real upside here in the near to medium term on this particular metal. But yeah, outside of that, just taking a look here. Oh, let's just take a look at copper really fast. So copper closed above this head and shoulders neckline on Friday, and today also getting a bit of a bid here. So this pattern is now negated. And what that means is you generally see, when you have a failed pattern like this, you generally see a pretty violent move in the opposite direction. So, you know, I got to go with what the chart's telling me, and I'd actually have to flip sort of bullish here on copper. I was pretty bearish after we broke through this head and shoulders, but now closing above that neckline, this is now a failed pattern. So, yeah, we could see a move here in the metals here. With the way the charts are setting up here, are starting to look pretty bullish, similar to 2006, and yeah, we'll just see if that plays out. But anyway, just gonna wrap it up here. You guys have a great rest of your day. Come check me out on Patreon. Link is in the description. All right, guys, take care.